This is a video regarding the triac firing circuit using diac. So here is your given circuit, and this is one is diac and this one is your triac. So here the resistor R is variable, whereas the resistor R1 has a constant resistance. When this R, capital R, is 0, R1 protect the diac and the triac gate from getting exposed to almost the full supply voltage. The resistor R2, limit the current in the diac and the triac gate when diac turns on. The value of C and the potentiometer R are so selected so as to give a firing angle range of nearly 0 degree and 180 degree, but in practice it is generally between 10 degree to 170 degree. Now the variable resistor R control the charging time of the capacitor C and therefore the firing angle of the triac. So when capital R is small, the charging time constant, that is R1 plus R into C, is small. Therefore source voltage charges capacitor C to a diac trigger voltage earlier, and the firing angle for triac is small. Likewise, when you can say that when R is high, the firing angle of the triac is large. Okay, so when capacitor C, when your capacitor C with upper plate positive charges to the breakdown voltage VDD of the diac turns on. As a consequence, capacitor discharges rapidly, thereby applying capacitor voltage Vc in the form of pulse across the triac gate to turn it on. After triac turn on at firing angle alpha, source voltage Vs appears across the load. If triac turn on, the source voltage will appear across the load by this circuit. Okay. This actually, after triac turn on at the firing angle alpha, source voltage appear across the load during the positive half cycle, that is at pi minus alpha radian. And when Vs becomes 0 at omega 2 is equal to pi, omega 2 t is equal to pi, then triac turns off. At omega t is equal to pi, it will turn off. And Vs becomes 0 at omega t is equal to pi, and triac turn off. After omega t is equal to pi, Vs become negative and the capacitor now charges with the lower plate positive. So this will become positive after omega t is equal to pi, and when Vc reaches VDT of the diac and triac turns on, and Vs appear across the load during the negative half cycle for pi minus alpha radians. At omega t is equal to pi, triac turns off again and the above process repeats. Now you can see this with the help of the waveform, and now I'm going to show you. So here is your basic waveforms. Now these are the two conditions when your port capital R is adjusted to for minimum, and when port R adjusted to maximum, which is the variable resistance shown here, potentiometer R. So when R is small, which is the deciding factor for the time constant of the circuit, when R is small, your output voltage is quite large as compared to when your port R is maximum. Okay, so here is the waveform for the Vs, Vc, Vt and V0 for the minimum R and for maximum R. Vs is the source voltage, Vc is the voltage across the capacitor, Vt is the voltage across track, and V0 is the output or load voltage. After track turn on, capacitor C hold to a small positive voltage. See, these waveforms are actually basically of ideal circuit components. In fact, this circuit produces unsymmetrical waveform for a positive and negative half cycle of load voltage. The asymmetry is to some extent due to track characteristics, but it is mainly due to hysteresis present in the capacitor. This means that when your Vs is 0, capacitor retains some charge of the initial voltage across its plate when source voltage falls to 0. So this asymmetry can be, you can say that waveform for positive and negative half cycle can however be made symmetrical if additional resistance R3 and C1 are employed. The circuit commonly used uh, for controlling the power in the lamp dimmer, heat converters, speed control of fans, and for inductive load, snubber circuit must be used across the track. Okay, thanks. Hope you see seen in the next video. Bye up to now.
Bye bye, goodbye, bye bye.